Hey, this is Shobi and Ton. This is Toby and Sean, or Shobi and Ton.
Yeah.
We're here to do some really awesome record reviews for you guys this
It's
week.
fucking middle of October, and they're really dropping bombs on us, you know? I mean, it just seems like an onslaught of releases, and it's to be expected this time of year.
But quality releases, that's what's freaking me out.
I feel like the
That's pretty
movies, like, if you really think you're a contender for, like, movie of the year, album of the year, in the critics polls, that you want to put it out October, November, you know?
Yeah.
So it's fresh in everyone's minds, you know? Like sometimes when people are doing year-end lists, they might gloss over something that came out in January, February, you know.
When did so Yardwork dropped in
July.
July? Perfect. That's a really good time to put a record out.
I think so. Yeah, college radio totally slept on us, you know. But
Assholes.
no, we did well. We went and played in Houston this week. Man, I got a record from every band we played with. Let's see. We played with the Gonzales in Houston. We played with Poison with a Z, which is now called Poison Culture. It's got ex-members of Sugar Shack and Fatal Flying Guillotines. They are awesome. And oh man. And we also played with Rusted Shut, the institution.
That's a rad tape.
Yeah, they've been around forever. I hadn't talked to those guys since the 90s. All right. But they're looking good, sounding good. And then, you know, Houston has a lot of good art museums. I had a nice time. We got to stay downtown, and it was a nice weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I went to a record release, John Wesley Coleman.
Saddle Up, right?
At Saddle Up. I got his record. Probably be talking about that at some point. And that was lots of fun. The Stairs, they're really good. I saw them. Mike Nikolai from Love Wheel Records band with Hunter Darby. I got this new Sabbath Crow record. I don't know. I'll probably be talking about these two next week.
Yeah, I want to
Crow
do these.
Yeah. John Wesley Coleman. There's a good picture of Wes
That's
right
a great
there.
picture of him. His little dog.
Very nice. But we'll get to that. We'll really cover it. I haven't. My turntable is still unplugged from when the air conditioner upstairs started bleeding through my roof.
Is there good? Does Love Wheel repair record players? Or
Nobody in town currently that I know of repairs record players. So if you have a lead on somebody, feel free in Austin or the surrounding area. Please let me know. That would be great.
Yeah, I went to a show on Friday. I saw Paul Johnson's band Stories of Teeth with Omar.
Paul J.
Yeah, Paulie J. Do you know Paul? And then Alfie opened for him. This was the first time I saw Alfie doing his
Blue
solo
Miner.
set. Yeah.
Yeah,
really
he's
fun.
great.
He's really great. It's got a real.
We should back up Alfie at some point.
You know, I told Alfie, I go,
play.
I love watching you play live, but like
Uh-huh.
I really want to jump back there and play guitar or play drums to your stuff, and it really gave me a surf vibe. He was like, dude, I didn't mean for it to sound like a surf band, but anyway. But that's
Dude,
just,
whatever your intentions are musically, people are gonna hear what they're gonna hear.
Yeah, that's true.
And just be happy that they like it. You
Yeah.
know, even if that's not what you intended. You know.
Yeah.
It's just man, people always think all my bands sound like the Cramps. You know, I love the Cramps. I never set out to sound like the Cramps. I never, I don't know if it's just if there's like a rootsy thing that it refers to. I mean, it's still like in traditional chord. I don't know what the fuck.
Right.
Cramps didn't even have a bass player half the time.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but if you're gonna compare it to a band, I mean, Cramps they're genius.
Right.
You know, why wouldn't? I mean, I couldn't say that I haven't worn out like at least 3 or 4 of their records.
Are you sure
know?
they're not saying Gramps because you're
Yeah.
old?
Oh, Gramps.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
You sound like a Gramps playing bass. But if it is Cramps, I can see the, like you and Poison Ivy have a lot in common, looks-wise.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Well,
I get it.
Rockabilly looks. No, but I love the Cramps. And so it's like, even though that's not what I set out to do, if you're seeing that, then you're seeing that because I did listen to that a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow, we can get to these great releases. We've got 5 releases here, and they are strong, you know?
Yeah.
A few things we didn't talk about because there's things that we were really enthusiastic about that we wanted to get to. So, where are we starting? There?
Yeah, let's just do it that way.
Okay, how about this cover? Oh, wait. I got to take it out so you don't get that glare. All right.
Get that glare from that.
What's the name? Morbidity Triumphant from Autopsy. Oh my God, they haven't had an album in a few years, and nobody really sounds like Autopsy. They are that fucking caveman death metal. They are not changing their sound for shit. Doomy death metal institution with the singing drummer. Got some guys who used to be in Death. Chris Reifert, right?
Yep, Chris Reifert. Eric Cutler on guitars still, and Danny Corrales on guitars. And the only new guy is Greg Wilkinson, who's on bass. So
Dude.
Pretty much the same lineup that they've had since '87.
Yeah, these guys are founding members of the death metal scene, and they're awesome, and they still bring it. And nobody is going to hit the Autopsy button just like Autopsy, and they did it again.
Yeah.
So what a great record. It's Autopsy. If you've heard Autopsy, there's not surprises here. It's awesome. It's just what you want. But let me see. I like the record because it gets doomier as it goes on, you know?
Yeah.
But do you have a favorite song on this?
Yeah, I do. I like Born in Blood, and I really like Knife Slice Axe Chop.
That song is dope.
That song kicks ass.
Yeah, Knife Slice Axe Chop. That kind of slows it down a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
They actually have a video for Knife Slice Axe Chop and Skin by Skin.
Skin by Skin is awesome. That was one of my favorites, and I also like Final Frost a lot. The second song.
Yeah, that's a great song as well. Man, I like this record because I mean, like you said, it's classic Autopsy, but they mix it up though. Like it doesn't, you know, it's not the same drum beat in every song. There's some dive bomb solos. You know, there's like I don't know, like their progression. Some start off slow, but man, this is like a varied mix of death doom metal classics. Yeah, and they fucking wreak carnage on this record. It's so much fun.
Okay.
It's their 8th studio record.
8th studio record. I really like the last number, Your Eyes Will Turn to Dust.
Yeah.
So let's read some lyrics from this. Mired in deepest depths, beyond human domain, in absence of the light where nothing has a name, you will be sent below, uncaring dark awaits. Your eyes will turn to dust, vision and reason fade. Waste away in walls of stone, that tunnel without end, decrepit to the withering touch, a worm that grovels and repents. Forsaking crumbling sanity, mind derailed forever. Pray for salvation, but you'll not be healed. Maggots in mercy's cadaver. Days turn to years turn to centuries broken. You're blind to the light for all times. Brain rotted, staggering, pleading for death, condemned to the powdered bone mines. Mired in deepest depths beyond human domain and absence of the light where nothing has a name.
If that doesn't inspire you,
that is dope.
To want to fucking exhume a body, you know, and carry around a bloody skull.
Oh my God.
That's badass. I challenge you, death metal bands, to come up with some shit.
Yeah.
On top of that,
let's hear some fucking doom death lyrics better than that.
What do you got? What do you got?
Good luck.
What do you got, guys?
All right, Autopsy killing it yet again.
Yep,
bringing you what you want.
What was your favorite song, Toad?
I'm gonna go with Final Frost.
Nice.
Yeah.
But like you said, this record progresses. It like doesn't slow down, and it's varied too. It's you don't expect what comes next with the song, so it's like it's surprising.
Yeah.
But
Maggots in the Mirror is awesome. Skin by Skin. Yeah, I like. Yeah, the final like group of songs is. You know, if I had this on vinyl, I'd probably listen to side 2 the most.
Yeah.
You know, but side 1. I mean, Final Frost is the second song on side 1. So
Right.
I got on CD, so I hear the whole thing.
if you live in Chicago, they're playing October 29th, and if you live in San Francisco, they're playing on November 18th.
All right.
All our fans.
All
nationwide.
our fans.
Nationwide, no. Now.
Man, you know what? I always see like we got fucking, 40 viewers and 20 of them talk to me in person, about it. So it's awesome. I mean, I love it when people want to chat with me about people. But I think I know that most of our audience is in Austin. But that's cool. I'm glad anyone watches it. So we are going to go to this one, huh?
Oh, yeah, let's do that one.
Okay. Another fucking institution of a band.
Yeah,
Clutch.
straight out of Germantown,
Sunrise
Maryland.
on Slaughter Beach by Clutch. Previously, my favorite Clutch album, I think we have the same one.
Robot Hive Exodus.
Robot Hive Exodus. I don't know if that's everyone's favorite. The one that came before that is also really good. I'm going to think of the name in a second. But they're consistent. Whenever I buy a Clutch record, it's a Clutch. Oh, look at that art.
Yeah,
That's
the art's
awesome.
really impressive on this. This is great. Look, I'm most familiar with Robot Hive Exodus, and I love this record because there's a few songs that could have been on Robot Hive. Like, it's that formula. And look, I'm not the biggest Clutch follower, but I think as far as their formula is concerned, this is like, straight up standard issue for Clutch. It's not disappointing at all. You know what?
But what?
Well, here's a few quick towns. They're formed in '91. This is their 13th studio record, and they're on Weathermaker Music, which is their own label. But Neil Fallon's vocal range, I think, feels like could have inspired like Idles type of Viagra Boys, especially their last song. It's like if Clutch wanted to go Idles, they could. But I feel like they kind of touch on that genre, that is so popular now with, at least those two bands.
I mean, they probably wouldn't appreciate me saying this, but Clutch was a grunge band. You know? I mean, it's like when in the early 2000s when that Robot Hive came out and I lived in Mexico and I just got hip to that album and listened to it over and over. I mean, I was like, part of me was like, okay, officially I disapprove of this style in this year, but this rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... But you know what? I admire Clutch and like another band we're going to talk about. They're totally like a scene unto themselves. They're their own entity.
Yeah.
They didn't piggyback on anyone else's success. Their shows are always like their thing. They're on their own label. Like, I totally admire their operation, and they bring the rock. What's your favorite song on here?
My favorite song is Nosferatu Madre.
That one is awesome.
Fuck yeah.
I like the title track, Slaughter Beach, Sunrise on Slaughter Beach. I also really like Mercy Brown. Yeah.
They have a video for Slaughter Beach and for Red Alert.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
And they're on tour with Helmet and Quicksand, and I missed them.
Yeah.
In Austin.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Helmet's kind of made a comeback in people's perceptions. It was like they were so 1992, right? 91. And then, it's kind of like when you're that hot and that flavor gets played out, and then really no one wants to hear it. And now people are like, oh, man, that was awesome. I swear, if you listen to Helmet in the meantime, it rocks.
It's great.
It's a great record,
you know? It's funny, like Helmet, like I always thought Helmet ripped off American Psycho Band. Or, you know what I mean? Like had that same sound and like just proliferated it. But Clutch is friends with Mike, right? Didn't they grow up together?
Okay, that's the thing. Is the first song Robot Hive's called The Incomparable Mr. Flannery.
Right.
And so I remember I emailed Mike and I was like, is this song about you? And then he never got back to me. Then I heard afterwards that it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. But yeah, I mean, they're from Germantown, Maryland. I'm not exactly sure where Mike's from. I always thought he was from DC.
He's from the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, so Tim Solt, lead guitar, Dan Maines, bass, John Paul Gaster drums. Been the same four guys.
Same guys.
Neil Fallon, same dudes.
That's the other thing I admire. Like, but yeah, I saw them way back in the day at Liberty Lunch with they were opening for Monster Magnet.
Oh,
it was
wow.
like '93. Yeah, they're very good. They were very young. I remember looking and being like, these guys are actually my age, you know, and they're really pulling it off, you know. Did you see them at the Cavity?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I don't know. I don't think so. Did you?
I remember a story about them bringing a giant bell into the Cavity, but maybe that was another band.
I don't remember.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, man.
Lips, if you're listening, did that happen? We don't know.
Oh, so like Autopsy. If you like Autopsy, they're bringing it what you want. If you like Clutch is bringing you what you want yet again.
This has been a recurring theme for us, like bands. But Clutch has never really. Yeah, they've always maintained.
It's been said like the best strength a band can have is actually being in touch with what it is that people like about you.
Right.
And quite often people don't know. They think that people appreciate that I'm clever, which they don't, you know, or whatever they think, you know. I mean, quite often it takes you a second to figure it out, but I think Clutch knows what their fans want, you know. Yeah. And I'd go see them play this album, you know.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a fun record. But so I think we should do this one next.
Yeah.
Talking about like bands and their themes and being strong at what they do. Queensryche! The new Queensryche record is out called Digital Noise
colors.
Alliance.
That looks great, doesn't it?
It's a beautiful record. Yeah. Beautiful record cover.
I'll tell you what, this is the first Queensryche product I've ever bought. They did not match my shoes in high school. I was not into progressive metal in the least bit. And
I hated the song Silent Lucidity so much.
Oh, you were still in high school at that point.
Yeah.
No, but
I was
like now when I go back, like, you know, I mean, Jet City Woman, you can't not rock out to that song. It's so corny, but it's awesome, you know? Right? But anyway, so Queensryche went through, I mean, if you've been following it online, they fired Jeff Tate, their singer, and have done 4 albums with Todd LaTorre, their new singer. And what happened is Jeff Tate had control of the band, and after they had such success with Silent Lucidity, his wife was the manager, and he had a grip on the band, and every album sounded more and more like U2. Okay. You know, so it just got really, really boring. And the thing is, like, the people who are fans of, like, Silent Lucidity, like, they're not loyal fans. Whereas, like, the original metal fans, those are loyal fans as long as you keep giving them some metal, you know?
Right.
So, the other guys all wanted to go back to their original progressive metal sound. And the singer did. And they kicked out so they started a side band with Todd LaTorre. They met him to perform their old stuff. That lasted like one show where everyone went crazy, and then they fired Jeff Tate, and then they Todd LaTorre's been singing for like 4 years, and this is the most interesting Queensryche stuff. I mean, I missed the boat on Queen of the Reich and all that stuff, the Warning.
Right.
Like, I mean, I wasn't listening to it, and I'll go back and listen to it, but I gotta say, I love this album.
Yes.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. It is so fun. Yeah.
It's got like this sheen of the production to where like any of the songs could be like a theme song to an anime or something like that. It's so produced, you know. But that being said, there's some songs on here that are so good. I'll let you talk about it for a second.
I mean, look, I'm the same. I did not approve of Queensryche back in the day, but like this is just like right up my alley right now. And I don't know if it's my age, but like it's a progressive metal lover's wet dream. It's so much fun, and like it's super slick. I don't know if it's a mockery of itself, but the songs are so fucking well written that like you cannot not have fun listening to this record. Like at times I was like, man, is this like Steel Panther? Like I almost like it's just so much fun. Like it's a great time, and it's the palate cleanser that I needed this year. Not saying that we do, whatever that means, but like it was a great addition to our reviews, and it being like almost a breath of fresh air. But I didn't expect to like a Queensryche record as much as this. So yeah, that's what I'll say.
Okay, a whole lot of our friends. I mean, I've seen Iron Maiden 3 times. I've seen all their Somewhere Back in Time tours. I didn't go see them last time. A ton of our friends did. I can tell you that I'm frustrated listening to the last Iron Maiden album. Like, there's bits and parts of Senjutsu where it's like, that's cool, but like every song has an extended intro, an extended outro, and it's too epic. Every song's like 8 minutes and is so progressive. Fucking Queensryche, if you wish Iron Maiden still sounded like Somewhere Back in Time, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, do yourself a favor and listen to this record, because I mean, they have tight arrangements of well-written songs. It's progressive, and they still wrap it up in 4 minutes, I mean, it's consistently,
Man, and Todd La Torre just shreds. I love the fact that he's a drummer also, but man, he's a great vocalist. He hits those notes. It's insane. They're on tour right now until December 11th. Toby, what's your favorite song on this record?
I've got 2 favorite songs.
Okay.
My first favorite is, Lost in Sorrow, and then Forest.
Nice.
How about you?
I like Behind the Walls. But my gosh, yeah, it's a runtime of an hour too, so you get your money's worth on this.
Lost in Sorrow is catchy and rocking in the same way that Jet City Woman is, but like I think it's a better song. It's not nearly as corny.
Yeah.
And Forest is like, before they had the term power ballad. I mean, bands had, like, no one originally called Dream On or Stairway in Heaven a power ballad. Right? That was just the slow song, right? And Forest isn't even that slow, but, it reminds me of the vibe from, like, Aerosmith Seasons of Wither, where it's not really a girlfriend song, but it's like, I don't know, some aging elf is being reflective or something. I don't know what's going on.
That's badass.
But
I like that.
Yeah.
Imagery. It brings up some awesome imagery.
But I love that song, Forest. Lost in Sorrow is so catchy. I think this is such a great album. If you were frustrated by Iron Maiden Senjutsu, listen to fucking Digital Noise Alliance. The song Digital Noise Alliance is great.
It is great. Yeah. It's really fun.
Every song on this is good.
They've got a video for Forest. Man, they've been busy. They have a video for In Extremis, Behind the Walls, and Hold On. So they've got four videos to support
Hold On. It's funny. I saw they had a video for Hold On, and for me, like Hold On, like I can't pick the hit. Right. But that's like probably my least favorite. It's still good, but it's like, to me, it's the corniest song on there, and they put it second to last, which is where we try to put the weakest thing. Right. But it's still good. It's got a good breakdown at the end.
Yeah.
Like the whole album's good. Yeah.
Right.
But if I was like the label guy and I was picking it would have been the 2 songs I just told you about.
Yeah.
But did you get the bonus track on yours?
No, the bonus track does not come on Spotify.
Well, I got it. It's Rebel Yell.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn it, I'm going to borrow this CD now.
And it starts off sounding like Billy Idol. And then, like, as it goes on, it's got distinctive Queensryche guitar and vocal flourishes, and like metal drum parts and stuff. But it's still faithful to the original.
Yes.
And I've heard Rebel Yell so many times that at this point, I would rather hear Queensryche's version of Rebel Yell just because it's a little different.
I would rather hear Queensryche version of a lot of shit nowadays if they're going to sound like this from now on.
I mean, I admire Billy Idol, whatever. No song really sounds like Eyes Without a Face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, really got its own thing going on. Except for Flesh for Fantasy. That sounds like Eyes Without a Face.
Flesh for Fantasy. Did he write all that stuff, or did he have a song?
He was Steve Stevens, the guitar player. And I think Ken Forsey, the producer, helped.
Let's do this one and then that one last.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, straight out of LA, our next record is gonna be Off. Free LSD.
Let me take that. Oh yeah, there's some glare. Raymond Pettibon cover, obviously, right?
Yep.
And if it's not Pettibon, it's someone totally ripping off his style in a really good way.
This is Off's third studio album, which is surprising since they've been around since 2009. But these guys in this band are really super busy with, obviously, other endeavors. You know, Keith Morris got his Circle Jerks going on, and Dimitri Coates with Burning Brides. Do you know if Burning Brides is still playing?
No, I saw Dimitri Coates fill in with Red Cross once, and it was awesome.
Autry Fulbright, the second, is on bass. He is also in Trail of Dead. And then Justin Brown, just an amazing jazz virtuoso drummer.
We need to talk about the new Trail of Dead record.
Yeah, we do. Autry's also, did I say he's in Trail of Dead? Anyway, but man, this record, my God, this is a graduated Off. They've become a more structured hardcore punk band, incorporating like, dude, Indian psych. Well, this is definitely okay. It's called Free LSD, so it's a psychedelic record. There's sitar, there's like crazy Thai clarinet going on in the background, and I don't know. It's the first I can ever say my first psychedelic hardcore experience. And if you want to mix hardcore and psychedelic rock or sounds, like they did it. Like this is why they called it Free LSD. It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
What do you think, Tobe?
I think Off is like exploring their proto-punk roots in a way. I'm really hearing influences like Pink Fairies, Hawkwind, the fucking where MC5 met Sun Ra, you know. They've got these interludes that are like free jazz interludes. They've got a free jazz element going in. It totally there's a Sun Ra influence. The British proto-punk thing, you know, where Hawkwind was a psychedelic band, but they were also heavy. Like I said, Pink Fairies. I think you know, whereas when Off started, it was like, okay, we're going to bring it back to original Black Flag because Keith Morris is the original Black Flag singer, and we're going to do it. I mean, even the name, you know, is another kind of insect repellent, you know. And so, but after you've established that we can do this, where do you go from there? In a way, they go backwards. And I'll tell you, another record that this reminds me of is like a hardcore record with a psychedelic influence would be Husker Du's In Arcade.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right.
But it doesn't have any of the emo stuff that does. This has more of a sci-fi lyrical thing like Hawkwind, you know? When you go through the lyrics, a time has come. Yeah, well, war above Los Angeles, Invisible Empire. So there's a lot of good songs on this, and I'll tell you what. I mean, this is a strong album. I feel like I'm just getting into it. There's a lot going on here.
Oh man, it's great. Yeah, and they've got 4 songs on here, FLSD, and those are the interludes in between the songs they're real experimental jazz type stuff.
But they bring a lot of the experimentation with the saxophone stuff and the weird sound effects into the songs as well.
Yeah.
And still keep it hardcore.
Right. God, and Keith Morris's vocals are great. His voice hasn't, it's aged a little, but like it's still strong as ever, you know, like, which is super great because he's like, you know, pushing 70 soon.
You know what I read? This album debuted at number 20 on the Billboard chart.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
wow.
So good for Fat Possum Records.
Yeah.
Good for Off. They fucking doing a killer job.
Yeah, they've been at it since 2009. So
it's a new lineup. So new rhythm section.
Yeah, Autry. Yeah.
Steve McDonald was the bass player.
Right.
And the new guys are killing it. Right. You know, it's like you had to be the old drummer was
Mario
from Rocket from the Crypt.
Yeah, Mario Rubacabla.
Yeah.
Rock from the Crypt. Yep.
Those guys were awesome.
Amazing.
So, you're going to have to be pretty good musicians to fill in those shoes. And these guys definitely not only did that, but bring it to a different place.
Yeah,
you know?
They bring it hard into another level.
Admirable place, you know, respectful. I think this is a great album.
Yeah.
And it's challenging for in a good way. Like they're really they're pushing the envelope, you know.
Right.
And I really dig it, and I admire it for that reason.
Yeah, me too.
You should do yourself a favor and listen to it.
Yeah. What's your favorite song?
Time Will Come.
Yes.
I also like Suck the Bones Dry. Yeah, a lot of good. Invisible Empire is great.
That's
what
a great
do you
song.
like?
I like War Above Los Angeles, and I also love
great.
Kill to Be Heard, which... no, I'm
Awesome.
sorry.
Kill to Be Heard.
My favorite song in this is Kill to Be Heard, but they also have 2 music videos for Kill to Be Heard and for War Above Los Angeles. And so here's what I'm thinking. They were working on a movie. They were filming a movie over the last 3 years, and they had a GoFundMe or something for it, but it just didn't end up panning out. And anyway, I feel like a lot of that footage is put into those 2 music videos, War Above Los Angeles and Kill to Be Heard, because you could tell that the scenes in these videos are high budget, or at least a budget that's not for their previous music videos. So, but they're fun. There's a story that's told there's blood, in these videos, and a whodunit and a crime scene, nutso shit's going on. So it's a lot of fun to watch. So for touring wise, they're playing October 29th here with Trail of Dead and Fuck Money at Hotel Vegas in Austin. But
oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'll be a good show. I think it's part of Levitation Fest.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, do yourself a favor and listen to this. You'll definitely be hearing about this one at the end of the year. Awesome. Now we're going to come to Katy, Texas. I drove through Katy twice this weekend.
Wow.
I had a blowout in LaGrange. But, and I think 2 of these guys still live in Katy.
Do they really?
The Institution, Kings X. 3 sides of one.
But
all right.
They're originally from Springfield, Missouri, right?
Yeah, but by the time they started Kings X, they were in Houston.
Okay.
And I think they all bought houses out in Katy. Because that's where
they probably used to shop at my Whole Foods, and I didn't even know about it.
Yeah,
Dang it!
you probably saw these dudes.
Yeah.
So, I've never bought a Kings X record before. I've been aware of Kings X since the late 80s.
Yeah.
I really, MTV used to play the shit out of the song Music Over My Head from Gretchen Goes to Nebraska, the second album. Another band that completely didn't match my shoes at the time, Kings X. I mean, at the time, it's late 80s, and I think I've discussed this before, everyone was getting tired of the standard hair metal and knew that music was going to be going somewhere, and there were bands, they were like, is it going this way, is it going that way? And Kings X kind of predated grunge, by a few years. And actually, if you see the ad where Lane Staley's trying to put together Alice in Chains, it names 3 bands that they want to sound like, and the first one is Kings X.
No kidding.
And Alice in Chains and Soundgarden were big fans of Kings X.
Wow.
And but Kings X somehow should be so much more popular than they are. It's in my mind, Kings X should be Pearl Jam. Right. But I mean, listen. So here's what I'm getting at. I think Doug Pinnick, as time will go on, and I think a lot of people already realize this, will be seen as one of the heroes of rock and roll. And the thing is, so Kings X is a Christian band. They're not a Christian rock band. They're a rock band whose members are Christian. There's a huge difference, because a Christian rock band on the Christian rock circuit will sell tickets through a church youth group and to the parents directly. That is completely cheating. Yeah. That's cheating, right? But that's fine. More power to you. But Kings X, like U2 or whatever, it's went the real circuit, and came up. And these guys, they were both in the Doug and the guitar player. Is it Ty Tabor? Jerry Gaskell on drums. Mm-hmm. We're both in the band Petra, which it was one of the pretty much helped found the Christian rock circuit Like that was, so they'd been in that circuit before, but this was their go at a legit rock band.
Yeah.
And there's, you know what, there's a lot of Christian themes on here, but they don't hit you over the head with it, and it's subtle, you know, like, and there's a lot of, it's dark. It's like being disillusioned with the flock, you know. It's in a way, it's there's a lot going on here, and I'm gonna say that, okay, so Doug Pinnick, they had this Christian following, and then they had this regular rock following, right? And then like the grunge era happens, they're having less of a rock following. The Christian following is still with them. And then Doug Pinnick comes out as gay, right? So, like, I'm not going to say he's the first gay black rocker, Christian rocker, because we had Little Richard already. But Little Richard was, like, trying to pray the gay away.
Right.
And Doug Pinnick was just like, I am who I am.
Right.
You know? And they lost their fucking Christian following, who didn't act very Christian towards Kings X, I must say. But these guys have kept going, and I gotta say, just in a lot of ways, like Clutch, you gotta admire Kings X has their own scene, their own thing going on. They're their own entity. They've got their following loves them.
They're the embodiment of consistency.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd always, anyway, this record, you know what? If you miss Prince, fucking check it out, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, because there's a lot of things going on here where it's like, I love Prince, but like when you get a new Prince album, sometimes you'll hear something and the first time you'll be like, that's too goofy, I can't get with it. And then after you've heard it like 4 or 5 times, you're like, oh my God, yeah, that's genius, that rocks, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so anyway, all these guys' tone is what your tone's supposed to sound like. This is what the guitar guy at the guitar shop's trying to sell you if you can actually play. You know what I mean? Like this.
Yeah.
This is an example of what your bass tone's supposed to sound like. What your guitar tone's supposed to sound like. How do you think the drums sound?
Flawless. Fucking amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
For reference, if you have a real budget, this is what your shit's supposed to sound like.
Yeah, take this to the studio and say, hey, engineer, listen to this record tonight, and we'll come back tomorrow. Yeah.
So, it's upbeat. It's positive. For the most part, there's some dark songs. The first song that starts with Let It Rain is very dark. Flood is dark. Yeah, Nothing But the Truth is okay. I'm also hearing the other influences besides Prince. I'm hearing here are the Beatles, obviously, and Jimi Hendrix, right? And a lot of it is Doug Pinnick. I mean, he's African American. He's got a very soulful voice. He's got such a great voice. At times he sounds a little bit like Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy.
Yeah,
he does.
You're right.
You know?
I do hear that.
Man, I gotta say, what I forgot to say about Todd LaTorre, he consciously makes some screams just like Geddy Lee on 2112 on here. Like, he's doing that, like, that's an impression, but he does it once or twice, it's great. But anyway, oh yeah, Doug Pinnick. So everyone sings on this, and it's great, but Doug Pinnick sings like the first 5 songs. Whoever sequenced this loves Doug Pinnick and put all his shit first, right?
Doug Sennick did.
Yeah, but that's awesome. These guys are great. I totally, this is such a good record. I admire the songwriting, the production, the playing. It's phenomenal, you know. It might take you a few listens, you know.
It didn't take me but one listen to realize that this was a really, really well put together record with some like amazing song craftsmanship by dudes that have been doing this since 1979, you know. And Doug's voice still sounds great. I mean, these guys are just like pros to the max, you know.
So when they have like those retro package tours and cruises with all the older bands that people remember from the 80s, apparently the bands that didn't get their full props that always kill the audience are Kings X and Kicks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But Sean and I are gonna go see Kings X.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, these guys can play their asses off. It's so great.
Yep.
I love it.
They're on US tour. They're playing Come and Take It live on Friday, November 25th here in Austin. They have 2 music videos for this record: All God's Children and Let It Rain. What's your favorite song, Tobe?
Oh man. Yeah, I like Let It Rain. I like Watcher.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing But the Truth. Flood.
Mm-hmm.
I even like Festival. That song is goofy. Oh, that's the thing. Is like the goofiest song on here is a song called Swipe Up, right? You know what I'm talking?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna swipe left, you're gonna swipe right, you get yes, no, or just swipe up for God.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, and Prince would have done that, Yeah. And that's like the first 10 times I'm like, I can't get with this, and then like the 11th time I'm like, oh God, that rocks.
Yeah,
Like, that riff is awesome.
It is awesome. Do you think did Doug Pennick and Prince ever collaborate?
I don't think so.
That'd be interesting to
know.
He's been around since '79. I mean, my God, these guys, they've been around the block. That'd be interesting to hear.
The playing is virtuoso. Everything
Yes.
about, do yourself, if you have a nice stereo, just put it on. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's so great.
What a great record.
Yeah, I'm glad I got turned on to it. I would have never in a million years bought a Kings X record.
Or Queensryche.
Or Queensryche.
Right?
I would have stayed far away from any of that
I
stuff.
totally would have heard Autopsy and Off.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I totally wouldn't have heard these two, and they're both fucking great.
Great. Yeah. I hope Live comes and impresses us with some good
really?
stuff.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to like get into
I started feeling this way a long time ago. That like, I don't care who you are. If like whatever fashion choice, music choice I made in high school is just that, and I might still dress the same, but. Like, if we're now 10, 20, 30 years on and people are still talking about your band, then there must be something to it, right?
Right.
So, in the years, I've gone back and, like, bands that, like Depeche Mode, like, you go back and listen, and you're like, oh, I actually know 25 of their songs, right?
Yeah.
Or OMD, like... I saw them and like it was like, oh, this is them. Oh, this is OMD. Damn, these guys wrote a lot of songs. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, so I figure I'll come full circle when I fully embrace Jethro Tull because I always hated them. They're the band that matched my outfit the least, like the wizard with the flute. But their fans loved them, and it's now been 50 years plus.
Yeah.
And they're still going strong. So there's something there.
Right.
Obviously.
Right.
Right? It's not like they're wrong and I'm right and they're wrong. None of that shit. There's obviously something to Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we're going to play our theme song. We're not going to cover an old one. We're going to play our tune this week. But we will be back. There's a whole bunch. Rocktober is really hitting us with the releases, so we're going to have to hit 5 again next time. But
a couple will be some local stuff. We'll do Wes
yeah.
and maybe Poison.
Sabbath Crow.
Oh, Sabbath Crow, yeah.
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff. So we're going to hit it, and oh my God, we really went. Okay, so thank you so much for watching again. I really appreciate it. And let's play our song.
All right.
I hope I have a pick. Oh yeah, there we go.
Get a pick.
I'm going to take my glasses off.
I'm going to take my glasses off.
Oh, good going. Hey, don't hide your face behind the cymbal this time.
This is us with glasses
Here, let's
off.
move it here. All right.
Ready?
All right.
It's your call! Hey, what have you been told? Come on, neighbor! I'm not fucking old!
It's not about the simple fact that we always seem to get our way. Having fun, taking shots to show meeting girls and getting paid.
Getting paid. Well, just like the Tin Man, I ain't got no heart. You kinda like his ass, 'cause you ain't that sharp.
It's not about the triple bagel, we always seem to get our way. Having fun, taking shots to show meeting girls and getting paid.
Getting paid.
Thank you. We're still going.